Hey, welcome back. My name is Heizgames, and welcome to more Dishonored. We're on part 3. The last time we were here, we were rolling through these sewers, and we escaped the prison, and we also got the chest from the group of, I guess you could call them bandits. So went behind, assassinated a lot of people over there. Probably shouldn't have had to do that, but I did.
Attention, Dunwall citizens. The assassin Corvo, responsible for the murder of our fair Empress and the disappearance of Lady Emily, heir to the throne, has temporarily escaped state custody. Several brave officers of the state are dead by his hand. He is to be captured or killed at any cost.
Food and pork in there, I'll take that. Find Sam here before we get, shot.
Corvo, over here. Quickly, I'm a friend.
So you see, now we're outside essentially the city's city walls, the edge of town. It's really crappy looking water.
I'm Samuel, and I work for some good people who want very much to meet you. They said you'd come out here. I could still hardly believe it. I'll take you to meet them. Just down the river from here.
Alright, let's go. I'm surprised that how many of these people actually are really allies, the first question. Hostiles killed. But you can see I killed 15 people, killed no civilians, didn't ring any alarms, but I did find 6 of my bodies that were general unconscious were found. Let's continue. So you can see that I technically could do this mission without killing anybody. It is possible, just I never attempted because I forgot that controls when you sneak up behind someone is the control used to knock them out without killing them.
This is the Hound Pit's pub. Closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing.
So there's this river here. Looks like that doesn't have a lot of.
Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
Right, it looks like we're gonna get off this boat. Hound Pit's pub. Let's check this place out first a little bit. Samuel the boatman has smuggled you across the river from Caldwich Prison. He works for an underground moon opposed to the legal reign of Lord Regent and has brought you here to meet with the members of the organization. Essentially, they're against his rule. Maybe some coins or something. Hey, fishy. I don't think you want to deal with you. They're not like Mary Queen, and I'm getting hit by something. Bunch of fish is trying to attack me. Look at that. Whoa, bro, you got a problem? What's with all the animals in this game? They all want to kill me. These fish have a freaking problem with us. So do the rats. The rats have problems with us. The fish have problems. We're all mad at us. But then again, this city probably dumps so much pollution in this river, so it looks disgusting. They probably have their own reason to. They have their right to kind of attack us, considering how crappily we treated the city over the years. Looks like, just from what I've seen, this game looks like it's a kind of a crappy place to live, and I probably wouldn't want to live here in Dunwall, but I kind of have to, and well, I don't really have to, but I don't know the way out, and I have a mission to do, so and that is get this mother fudger who's trying to betray me, get me killed. Just gonna check things out here real quick. The one thing that I do like to do is when I'm in one of these big kind of open world games, I like to explore things, kind of see what's going on. I don't just like to follow the... Because some people would just, go on the missions. But I like to explore the whole world. That's kind of one of the big things about these sandbox games. Makes it kind of unique. Alright. At the Academy of Natural Philosophy, they speak of a Panaceian continent. It's a place of wonder where all life is intertwined and blossoms across the eons, producing a vibrant ecology unrivaled in the civilized world. The overseers from the Abbey of Everman, by contrast, talk of horror and heresies, of cults of submen engaged in perverse rituals. The few who have traveled to the far continent have come back to the Isles, and those who have actually touched the soil they have returned with notes that describe the vast deserts, deep jungles, and outlandish creatures that defy belief. Once in a generation, a great effort is mounted to build a colony there in hopes of the someday growing part of a city to rival Dunwall itself. Today, these attempts have all ended in madness and failure. So it almost seems like this is like they're trying to. We're in like some country that's trying to plant colonies, almost in like America. And then we're gonna map some more there. And if you don't know, if you don't really look up history or whatever, the colonies when they first started were a huge failure. And then eventually over time, the British got successful. The Pilgrims and some of the others got successful due to the Indians, who then we later killed off. Because the best thing to do is everyone who helps you is to kill them. That's, I guess, the reasoning of what they thought. But I mean, whatever. There was their own way. Let's see that just brings you back over there. I don't think that's going to help me at all. But anyway, so basically, I guess they're trying to build almost like a city like this in the other country, in the other continent, and then it fails. It fails probably because of the ritual beasts and stuff. Those are probably the Indians or Native Americans or whatever they're called. The natives, I guess would be a better way to put it, because they're not really Indians. They're not
Attention all citizens.
India.
Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest.
Alright, but anyway, so the natives are probably are the ones they're talking about when the real things. The ones talking about all the weird creatures is the unexplored land. But apparently, in this world, this kind of mystified, like, weird alternate generation, alternate world, they haven't settled in maybe America or maybe some other country that I don't really know. So I'm assuming at some point else you have to go into the rooms. I like to check them out myself real quick. I like to explore. I'm an explorer. I don't just like the linear storylines. Exploring is what makes these games
citizens
you
of
kind
Dunwall.
of see the society these
The
people
old
live
port
in.
district has been added to the evacuation list. The Weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
So I'm kind of just exploring this house or something. Another, I saw my sailors. This is a sailor thing. We'll do what with drunken whaler. Repeat it 3 times early in the morning. Feed him to the hungry rats for dinner early in the morning. Way, hey, up and up she rises 3 times and early up in the morning. Slice his throat with a lusty cleaver. Suck him off with a sack and throw him over. Wow, these are pretty harsh words. Way, hey, and she rises early in the morning. That's some, I'm saying, but that's some pretty harsh language. Just saying. Basically saying, hey, here's some men who are sick, let's feed them the rats. Give them the rats, cut off their throats. And, that's real smart.
My, you must be Corvo. I am Lydia, at your service. Your room is upstairs and ready. When they told me who it was, well, I thought you'd be older, like the Admiral. I'm sorry it's so dark. We can't risk being seen. It is a bit romantic, though, isn't it? I used to be the hostess here. Oh, I could tell you stories about that, believe me. You can call on Cecilia for the more menial tasks. It's what she's suited for.
She's busy.
I hope the bed's to your liking. Let me know if you have trouble sleeping.
Right, that's all she had to say. Or has to say. Expert from the series of Overseer's invocations. All I say to you, brothers, is that we make our stand as a righteous force against the growing darkness. It is here that we unite against the spirits of the unknown that would drag us screaming into the night, never to return to our homes, to our families. So that's the Night Watch, obviously. The Watch are the ones who are dragging the kids out and killing them, if you remember that from earlier in the game. Together we will serve as a rod to those who would stray from the herd, for the froggy gray race to the outsider. We will burn a bright fire with our victorious actions so that others will not lose their way. And to those who choose to wander beyond the walls of our homes and far places, we will strike at them swiftly before they whisper to our neighbors, filling their hearts with strangers and doubt. Basically, that's kind of the...
River traffic is forbidden
Brilliant.
from landing in the distillery district due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the flooded district for treatment and rehabilitation.
Basically, if you violate, they're really going to get killed. And just exploring this large building that we're in. It's been days since our men were dispatched to stash weapons for Corvo in the old sewer. They have not returned, so I can only hope they succeed in getting the packages delivered. Pierre put considerable time and resources in making those things. If I could find a way to mass produce one, the Dunwall name would secure the place as a doormat force on the globe. Back to Corvo. Can you actually break out our code words? And if so, can he make his way here? I personally give him odds of 1 in 5. Well, I'm the 20% mother fudger, so deal with it.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we've moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. Pendleton's voting block and my military connections. All we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. End log. Is this off? Switch. Where the hell is it?
That's like an audio player from the old days. Gaffer's Tale. It's a long story. Holy crap. Alrighty. Let's see if we can read this. So, some sister led Tavia to say goodbye. The woman who raised us since childhood, leaving behind the city of Yarrow and the cool, beautiful white landscapes of always known. We boarded the ship for Dunwall. So this must be like a place out somewhere. Parents left us with a sizable inheritance. We spent half of this getting the capital slaves, establishing a small import shop dedicated to furs. Once Nina established the business, I was ready to pursue my dream. Sign on with a whaling ship. I was the most exciting thing I ever done. I saw it as a means to end. I would someday captain my own crew. Nina kissed me for a while, not see her for many months. As an apprentice, I got to see the tracking and coding many of the great beasts up close. Never ever fire my spirits so. As the wind pouring away is racing after a wounded whale. I changed more in those first 7 months than in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on, so that Nina barely recognized me. When I returned, tanned and sunny with muscle, weather creases already wrinkling the corners of my eyes, but you could see that I was filled with joy, having found purpose. And that's the end of part 1. Basically, essentially, in that little story, these two people, they set off here for Dunwall, so this city, and they land here, and she creates a shop to sell furs, and he goes out in boats, and he has a lot of, basically, he changes, but, and Nina doesn't like the changes that he's done, but she can see the enjoyment in what he's doing, which is whaling. Right. After more than a quarter of a century, I'm done with whaling, too broken to continue. I've seen all the courts in the Isles and made more coin than most see in a lifetime, but that's all gone. I've lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fairly young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the world and sailed the loneliest you can imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pendonesia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long asleep and singing them on the waves or in the moonlight. We want to be separated by ugly weather scares me to kill each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chat those who lived in the cities throughout Mead. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her visits to Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Marley. Gaff had frozen from the sleet, tracking the first boar whale we seen in a month. However, as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. I am jaded and bitter because the image has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. So this is kind of the opposite. So in that story, basically, it's been like a quarter of a century since he went whaling, which was probably, I'm assuming, his teen years. So he's probably in his like 30s, and he basically goes, and the plague starts hitting Dunwall, and his Nina, his sister, essentially. Business closes because of the government here, and she basically loses all the business that she has, and he's gone whaling, so he can't help her, and she dies, and he can't get whales, probably because they've killed so many whales. There's hardly any whales left in the ocean because they're using it for all the oil, and now there's no entertainment and joy. He was very rich, but he's still not happy with what he has done. Each of the isles has some form of naval fleet. None is more envied than those of Bristol's, with its long, proud history of great ships and the admirals who command them. Boys come of the ages in the cities in Bristol, hoping of someday to captain such a ship, and family dynasties are made by those captains who track down the infamous pirates and crush seditious uprisings. In times of wars and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at the sea. Their ships of Anton Skolovov, who assuming he's like some rich dude, now represents the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their kill up deck and begin butchering and processing even as the ship returns to Dunwall. Their crews can be seen working on the latest whales as the ship moves slowly up the Rinhaven River. So I'm assuming that's the river we were on at the beginning of the game. Coming to dock in one of the most powerful warehouse companies, such as the Grievings Whaling House. Suspended in the rigging overhead in the back of the setting sun, the silhouette of one of the creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises towards final resting place in the industry heart of the capital city, which is Dunwall, of this whatever country we're in. I don't know what country we're in exactly. So that's everything I think. From there, we already opened the trunk up. Nothing in that place. We already looked at these bookshelves. What was that door up?
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
I hope if I'm standing from these people, they ain't mad, because I'm thinking a lot of their stuff. New graph here.
My furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
These must be loyalists? Like rich loyalist dudes. What is this? Is there more upstairs? There's more. There's always more. A brick wall, which must be a fake door. Or it's been closed off for whatever reason. Fourth floor. Attic. Provost chambers. So this must be my room. So I'm hiding up in the attic because they can't be seen down below. Oils and stuff, but they're using a lot of whale oil. Probably the reason why there's probably no whales anymore. Checking this place out looking for coins.
Lady Emily Caldwell was abducted 6 months ago during her mother's terrible murder. Anyone with information leading to the location or return of the daughter of our beloved late Empress is required to speak to the City Watch at once.
So that's the streets below, Dunwall. You see it's been... Well, that must be the regular city. This must be the walled off section. I'm assuming he's taking us to a part that we're not supposed to be in, but we're in anyway, because, you know, the City Guard, or whatever they're called, Nightfall. I don't even know what they're called right now, the Watch. Let's door up. Don't want people to know I'm here. Bottle. Alrighty, back downstairs we go. Third floor. second floor we go. Second floor. That's that room. We weren't even in there.
Attention all citizens. Curfew extends from sundown to sunrise unless you are otherwise authorized. Violators will be subject to interrogation and detained when necessary. Remember, the boldest measures are the safest.
From longer worth of fiction. Shadow on bitterly. Finding my way, the feeble life of a dying fire, I saw her working. A large needle moved from her hand, following precise, Scotic patterns, knots and loops of seamless craft from ancient days. Beneath her needle, the body clenched and shrouded, shaking the wooden table. A moored fascination pushed me closer until she turned her blank face toward me, resting the needle in its flesh. With a refined tone, she asked me, "So you are the lover, I presume? You two have been unfaithful, and now is your turn to be mended." Jeez Louises, like, all these stories in the city are like murder stories. Goodness gracious. It's a theater play. So he's saying, "How dare you," was he shaking with outrage. "So how dare you close so in my very home? I shall hand you over to the watch, depraved tyrant. That's a harsh welcome for royalty, my lord. Your daughter is treated with much more hospitality. Alice, she has gone for the evening, leave me all alone." He's standing before him. "What are you doing? Leave this house. Go back to your frozen wasteland, pale rascal." And then he reaches out. "No need for anger between us, Lord Bale. Is it so wrong for me to be here? As I've proven, I've developed an affinity for you and your family. Oh my, Caslier, your skin is so warm it burns." And that's where it ends. So I don't know if it's... Because remember, there are potions in this game. So is it like literally his hands like burning, or is it like... It's like you're like you're warm, like it burns, because you can say that like, "Oh, you're burning me," but that's like you're not actually burning them. You're like burning them like in words, or you're burning them like you're hot. So I mean, there's a lot of meanings for that, and it may not necessarily be that one. Okay, don't hurt yourself. More coins. Give me those coins. I love coins. I love money. That's all I care about is money.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The old port district has been added to the evacuation list. The Weeper count for the month of siege has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
Welcome to the Hound Pit Pub, sir. How may I help?
Hello, sir. I am Wallace, and this is Cecilia. We have been informed of your arrival and will do our best to stay out of your way while you conduct your business.
Yes. Lydia's a servant here as well.
If I may, I am the personal assistant to Lord Pendleton, and one of the senior servants at Pendleton House, as was my father. Now I am entrusted with this house, the home of the Loyalists. I have never seen the Admiral fail at any venture. If order can be restored to the city of Dunwall, I believe he can do it. If anyone can get your old life back, it's him. I don't need to tell you, if the authorities investigated this place, we would be hard-pressed to explain ourselves. We brought a few trifles over from Pendleton Manor. A touch of home in these trying times. Your room in the loft should assure your privacy. Lord Pendleton was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, but there was a great shuffling of the aristocratic families. My lord was attacked by vipers from all sides. I understand you were once welcome at court before the murder. May I say I am relieved to have another man here who knows the courtly world. This building has stood here for over 3 centuries. As long as Lord Pendleton calls it home, I would defend it with my life. I may well have to.
Bye. That connects through where we came from. Workshop key for that. that door. Whoa. Wait. There we go. Figure out what my weapons are. So we got bow and arrow, gun, and another bow and arrow. I think I want to go down there. Alright, so the Loyalists over there. You can see pretty much everything in the house for the most part, because the office is locked. You cannot kill the rat plague.
I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress. I'm sure the Admiral was anxious to meet you. It wasn't easy getting you here. I wouldn't hang about if I were you. From what I understand, time's getting short.
What he has to say, alright.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes.
Or care for
Piero's
a
as
friend
much an
or
artist
family
as a
member
technician.
who shows signs of
He's going to be
blood on their
crafting the
face
gear
and
you'll
chest
need.
area.
Go talk
The
to
only
him
way
and then
to
get
help
some
them
sleep.
is to bring
We
them
can talk
to the
more
city
when you're
watch.
rested.
They will be taken to the
Good
flood
to have you with
district
us.
for treatment.
Nothing against the others, but there's no substitute for a man who's done his service for the crown. Have you talked to Piero yet? He made the weapons we left for you on your way out of Coleridge Prison. Go see him when you can.
Okay.
You don't know what it means to work with a man who stood at the Empress's right hand. We can't bring her back, but at least we have the man she trusted most. And maybe we can help you right some of the wrongs done to you. This bar is mine, but please, treat it as your home. Piero still wants a word with you. He's not a diplomat, but he's a brilliant man. Samuel is a blessing. Without him, we couldn't navigate the waters of the river at night. We keep our lights low to avoid prying eyes. What I wouldn't give to be back at sea. I told them I'd be damned if I sail under a usurper's flag.
Attention,
You should have seen
Dunwall
their
citizens.
faces.
Be
Curse
advised,
the
the
Lord.
river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
Just checking this place. I don't know if there's much there. On the street we go. Time to go talk to Piero. The real question is, where is this keyhole? Is there another way in? Oh, yeah, I can get in that way. That works.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now the tank of whale oil is running. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's both unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
Alright. We need whale oil. Let's see about articles. Piero. As though no man's fault of my own, the average citizen expressed their preference for Solver's X over my own formula, so as Piero's remedy. In name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken his usual message of idiocy, expressing their coin as the means of selecting Scova's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much as may vary the popularity's connotations, as means of restricting this remarkable new plague. As a remarkable because the strain works with such efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. The plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, has unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the bloodly so afflicted and it is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. While it is true that Piero's remedy and Scova's exteriors are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. It is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is when it should pay attention to this contest. As you see, Silver's exterior, which emphasis on the brute animal body, is a Crasco better served for livestock. The subtle secret vagrants and the key ingredients make it Piero's remedy ensure that it works in the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the river. Eventually, he's making cures. Or he was making cures. And he had 2 people were competing to make the cures. His was better, but he didn't win out because the other dude's was supposed to be better. Okay, Piero. No, I will not sign up on these purchases. A bag of powdered crystals, Tivian ore. What's wrong with the metals and crystal? King sparrow feathers. If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy, everything you need will be paid off by tariff and hand out willy-nilly. But this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, auxiliary building materials, and everything else, and you've got to slow down. When I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city's in ruins, and no one's going to miss any of the odd crap you seem to need. Admiral Havelock. So essentially, he has some interesting stuff that he wants. He can't find it. So we're gonna help him. Right. The vise. I've seen vises before. Solid technology in a new age. One of the advantages of Scarvel's technology is they share the same magnetic soffit for the tanks of processed well oil they use as fuel. When a tank is exhausted, another one can be plugged into the place with ease, and the whole process is simple enough that any common workman or even the lower guardsman of the City Watch can handle the task. This applies to arc polygon and the wall of light security systems, as well as the powered carriages used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside is the variety of the tanks themselves. A few incidents have occurred of recording damage to property or bodily harm when one of these tanks has exploded. Excellent. So apparently the whale oil is very unstable, whatever that means. Map of some sort. Southern skies or something. It's an unbreakable door. It's weird that it's locked on both sides. You'd think there'd be like a key somewhere for it, but apparently not. Down there. Maybe up here? Up here somewhere. Nothing in the trunk. Oh shoot, sorry. Well, processing. Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it is caught, a larger hook has been driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck and then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port and Dunwall, where the crew works on a great creature slicing up the fattiest parts while it still lives. So essentially they're kind of tortured as they die, since they get chopped up. Rail oil refilling station. Scoville has no longer the upper hands in regards to supplies of oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system will enable me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When an empty tank is held near the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using this lever should begin the refilling process. Once refilling is complete, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in handling the tanks that are quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered, and it appears that the Grease Oconee has done something correctly for once. Apparently that's a surprise in the city. The audiograph player.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substance is developed. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
Nice, he's expecting something in return for what he's done. Alright. Can I take this down here? Yeah, empty tank.
That one is empty. A new tank, please.
Don't worry, I'm gonna refill it for you, buddy. That's a full one. Alrighty. Okay, except from the National Philosopher Aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage processed the same minor variants in physiology. On the second leg of the ship, east of Tivia, the crew hauled a female some 42 inches, 42 feet? Or 42 inches? I think it's 42 feet. I estimate she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking from side to side through the night, which with her thrashing. I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bone, I cut in the massive tentacles around her mouth. Then I found a row upon row of teeth and a baleen running around the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assumed she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. Probably. Alrighty. Dead counter responsibilities. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the growing plague crisis, dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers usually of junior or middle grades. In most matters of edict and curfew enforcement, these officials would defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have to command situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those of late-stage plague symptoms called weepers. Starting the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test, and if accepted, the 2-week training tour. Pay will be administered in coin and rations of exilare of 1.5 normal pay grade. So they get like almost twice the pay if they do that. So they deal with the dead bodies, which are the ones who probably dumped them down earlier in the game. Fill experiments. Of course, I have attempted to improve on its designs, of course, and why not? After all, it's likely that his thinking was influenced by some small way of our time together at the Academy. We are all part of a community striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to a fruitful line of consideration by, and how is one to say it, by our intellectual subordinates. Skolov is no exception to this, despite the glamour and genius he has cast over the aristocracy. And further, it is true that many of my experience have failed. No need to gossip about it behind my back in social clubs and the very chambers of the Academy itself. A great ambition requires risk. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere, but someday we will not. Your children will likely see as commonly as you see electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at the wall of light. Your laughter and your condescending smiles are nothing but evidence of your limited imagination. Alrighty. Let's go with the whale in front of. It's not breaking. Here comes the whale for you, buddy.
Now plug it in. Just perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Send the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables, and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need. Tell me what I can make for you.
Let's have a look. Holy crap, I can make all this stuff. I have so many coins. Disable security devices to make them work in your favor by using a rewire tool on the circuitry panel for security devices you want to hack. Never really use grenades. Quite 10 of those. That's good.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
Alrighty.
Sleep well.
Time to go to bed. Somewhere else. Alright, so we're back awake. So we're going to stop here. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next part of Dishonored. Have a great day, everybody.